congrats on deleting all the dating apps. Can I ask, how's your dating life going?
Fucking shit. Yeah, if I'm completely honest. No. I think I just definitely fall victim to this illusion of choice, being connected to the entire internet and always thinking, could I get better? Could I get more? Because you see all these absolute like 10 out of 10s on Instagram and you don't see the negatives of their life. And frankly, you don't even see looks wise them without a filter on their face. So I think I do definitely fall prey to that, but I do also have high standards that I'm not willing to compromise. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but something that I watched the other day was Alain de Botton giving a speech. It was a School of Life speech about love, and it just put things in perspective to me. This idea that we even have a relationship and love people is a very new concept since Romanticism. And actually before that, it would be like, okay, there's 100 people in my village. This girl lives next door. Her dad owns the farm next door. Perfect. Like, they're going to put us together. Whereas now we all think of love as this magical soulmate experience where if you don't find the absolute perfect partner for you, they get binned off. And I guess that's down to Hollywood partly and all these sort of romantic movies where it's love at first sight. And I definitely bought into that. I think it's something that my generation does a lot, is buying into these ideals. Exactly. And I'm always skeptical when people bring up things like programming, especially in sort of conspiratorial ways to push a certain narrative. But I think this is just programming that's unintentional, except for the fact that it creates good storylines and plots that we can all aspire to, because wouldn't that be lovely if we all did have a soulmate that we lock eyes with and know instantly? And I'm sure we all do have a soulmate, but I take the much more depressing and scientific idea that we have probably multiple soulmates that tick enough of the boxes. But the main thing that Alain de Botton speaks about is that you're not going to be perfect for each other with zero friction. The whole point of a relationship is working with the things that you don't like about someone and making each other better. So that's what I'm on the lookout for at the moment. And I'm definitely always looking for something long term, because I know that will bring me the most feeling of fulfillment. But it's tough. Like it is really tough just to find people. And I always say to my friends, the locations and the pools that we're fishing in, it's a nightclub or it's a dating app, both of which are super shallow. And frankly, if you're ambitious like I am, the type of person that you want isn't going to be on those apps. The type of person that uses those apps or goes to a club has a lot of spare time, doesn't necessarily know what they want to do, and frankly, they want to hook up, and that's about it. So I'm definitely in with all the people watching this in fighting the battle of finding someone, but I'm persevering. I'm looking for it. So if you have any suggestions for better pools to fish in, I'm all ears.
Yeah, I love that so much. And just to touch on what you were saying before, just going back about like the generations of how much love has changed as well. It's like how much like arranged marriages, for example, is so shamed upon now. Yet when you look at before, love was romanticized and it's this magical feeling that we've all been told. And it is such a beautiful thing to believe in, of course. But it's like arranged marriages actually worked so well back then because that's what they believed love was, because like we work well together, and it's they still were able to create that depth of connection of no one else got to know them to the level as their significant other. So then when we're looking at your amazing love life and we're talking about, it's like, yeah, the pool of like where you're actually looking to find these people, it is hard. It's like it is yeah, just like the nightclubs or Instagram or dating apps. And like you were saying, the people that you're wanting to date probably aren't on those apps or they aren't in those nightclubs. And then it's figuring out where they are going. Are they going to the gym? What time would they be going to the gym? And make sure, are they also very scheduled with their plan? Are they going to the gym at the same time every day? then prioritizing when you're going to the gym at that time, and then making sure it's like, it is so okay to flirt. I think that's a really big thing in society now, where it's like people aren't flirting enough. It's like one of my favorite things I love to say is like, flirt with life, flirt with everything. Like nothing is that serious. Like we're just here. Everyone's figuring out life. No one knows what the fuck they're doing. It's just like, make the most of it. It's like, you can like have values, have things that you stand for, of course, but it's like, flirt with that person. Even if you're 90% attracted to her, it's not a full 100%. Why not just like start opening up your energy more to allow that energy in? It doesn't mean you have to text them all the time or anything like that. It's just when you're at the gym, open up your energy, start smiling at everyone, like smiling at the girls, winking at the girls, whatever. Doesn't come across creepy, of course. And it's knowing that it's like, the more that you show up as that most authentic version of you, it's like that there's nothing more attractive than a man that's confident, like a woman. There's nothing more attractive than a person who is confident, and someone that's able to walk into a room and hold his own and know that he can and send a smile here and not have that fear of being rejected. It's like, I'm so confident within myself that I know that I can make eye contact with you and hold that eye contact because I'm not insecure. Like I feel secure enough in myself that I can hold myself there. And then it's like, even going to cafes. I'm not sure if you work from cafes or things like that, but it's like, even when you're going to even like restaurants with your mates or doing anything, it's like knowing, just being more in society, like in the world of like restaurants, cafes, beach, not sure where else you guys go, like shopping malls, movies, things like that. Like start recognizing to actually start flirting with girls and knowing that it doesn't have to be so serious. Like the moment you meet someone, you don't have to be like, yes, I see my whole entire 10 years with this person. Eventually you may find that one person that you see that whole future with, and recognizing that you get to enjoy the journey, like enjoy the time that you're getting to be at this age and having that fun conversation, or getting to get to know someone for 3 months and it gets to be this most amazing fun 3 months. And then if you just don't see a future past that, then that's so fine to end it there. I'm like, oh, this was so much fun. Thanks for the time getting to know each other. It's not, when you're so transparent, you're not wasting each other's time. The more authentically you show up, the more like because you can't figure out if you don't want to spend the rest of your life with someone that may be a maybe. Does that make sense?
2 things. Fuck me, I'm opening up on this pod. So first, one principle that I live by at the moment is I never approach a girl in a place where she can't say no and walk away without it being awkward. For example, I literally never approach a girl in the gym, and I never will unless you change my mind today, because I would feel bad that if I asked her out and she was creeped out by me speaking to her, she then has to train in the same gym as me and look at me and know that I approached her. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is the type of ambitious woman that I would be looking for. Frankly, most of them aren't 19. And also there's this paradox that they wouldn't go for a 19-year-old. Even if I show signs of being ambitious and whatever, they would be looking sort of to always go for someone older and even more successful.
Interesting. Can you give me a rundown on, okay, so if she's not 19, roughly how old is she? And like, what does her ideal day look like? What is she up to?
Okay, let's do this. Age doesn't matter. Like, fucking as long as she's like the same age as me.
Like, don't go too much younger.
I frankly, I wouldn't go for anyone younger than me. And like I struggle to even go for someone the same age as me. So age doesn't matter as long as she's like older and mature enough. It's just more, how advanced is their career, like where are they in life, how certain are they of what they want to do, and do they gel with me, and then what would they be doing, anything. I'd want someone that adds to my knowledge of the world and makes me a better person, whether that's dropping fucking like facts left, right, and center about something that they're studying or their career, or if it's nurturing and making me less impatient or whatever.
It's so interesting because it's like there's certain narratives that you're telling yourself or beliefs that you're telling yourself that aren't actually serving you. Or like, why would I'm going to say older woman because like anything older is still very young, but like young. It's not acknowledging like that's not serving you. It's like asking why they would want to be going out with a 19-year-old. It's like, are you actually is there a part of you that's then going to judge her character of wanting to date someone younger? Like, is that a belief that you're telling yourself? Or
I only say this because I was like, full faith, they would go for me if they just see the potential in me and that I might be more ambitious than the average 19-year-old. And then they were like, this was some girl when I was in America and she was like, I'm sorry, I just can't look past the fact that you're 19. So she didn't go for me. But hey, maybe she wasn't the right person to be mature enough to see that age was just a number in that situation.
Yes. So now it's acknowledging that it's like the way that you show up, the way that you can communicate, the way that your mind is, the way that you articulate yourself as well is quite mature. Is like you're already showing up at a certain level. There are some, like, to share more of my story as well, it's like when I was 20, I was like, loved talking. I didn't necessarily date anyone, but was talking to a lot of guys that were in 30, 31, because I thought the older the guy was, the more mature they would be. And yet to this day, I found out that, yeah, it's like they were very much not mature. They're probably like didn't speak as well as you already are speaking. They don't know all the business stuff that you already know and how to articulate themselves well, or even to hold the frame really well. So it's acknowledging, it's like, you're not looking for a woman who can see your potential. It's recognizing that you already have it. Does that make sense? Like, it's you seeing and recognizing that it's, I don't have the potential to be this, this, and this. It's like you already are embodying that. You already can hold that. You already are that man that she's wanting and desiring. So it's one, having that mindset shift within yourself. And then when we're going into how to find these people or find this lovely lady, by the sounds of it, it's like, if you are very into business, it's like, are you in any masterminds or listening to any podcasts? And like, where is she? What is she doing? What business events is she at? And then start approaching her that way. Or if she's on a podcast, you could invite her onto a podcast, or more so just message her on Instagram and be like, hey, I listen to your podcast about this, this, and this. I love when you spoke about this, and like open the conversation, and knowing that you're not going straight in for the, hey, date me or go on a date with me.
What do you think to what I threw out about being scared to approach, or not necessarily scared, like I'd do it in a gym, but just having the respect of not wanting them to feel trapped and awkward if they do turn you down?
Yes. So that was the next thing I was going to get into. It's starting to know how to read cues, how to give cues. So like, you're not going, for example, going into like the gym scenario. It's not you going straight up to her, like you see her and go straight up to her and be like, hey, I want to date you. Go on a date with me, which I'm sure you wouldn't do in that way. But it's knowing that's like, okay, if she's going at this time, start creating a conversation each time you're going to the gym. Start creating some sort of relationship with her. Just saying, hey, how are you going? And smiling and seeing if you give off a cue and see if she returns that. It's starting off with smiling. And like knowing, I'll assume that you know how to differentiate the smile of like that. It will start off with like a friendly smile, and then like you can start getting more flirty smiles, and just like start adding the little cues there, because then when it will get to a point where you will know that it's comfortable enough to actually ask her on that date. So for example, her going into the gym, it's just opening up that conversation of it being about the gym, and then you can leave her to do her own exercise. And if it felt comfortable enough, then the next time you see her at the gym, just start adding to that conversation, start creating this relationship with her where you start knowing her and she gets to start to know you. And then you can actually start feeding off the energy of like, is she actually open to you wanting to spend any time together outside of the gym? That way it's like, before you even get to the point of asking her out or asking her a question that will make her feel uncomfortable, there would already be so many cues before that she would be uncomfortable with.